Crosses around to Fogarty. He's going to go!
Cork Kilkenny really is all about history and tradition. Probably the two counties with the highest number of All-Ireland medals, I suppose, really, and titles to their name. Just a huge respect, I think, on both sides, especially from a Cork perspective. Playing Kilkenny really is, it's the ultimate.
Cork and Kilkenny, they're fierce, proud hurling counties. There's huge respect between the two counties.
I suppose the records speak for themselves in terms of the number of All-Ireland titles each, so there's a huge tradition there. There's a huge rivalry, but it always has been, I think, in good spirit, and there's always been great games down through the years which are very competitive.
Earliest recollection would be 1978 All-Ireland final. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great day for Kilkenny as Cork won to the sword to win their 3 in a row.
Jimmy Berry-Murphy with the shot that's low, and it's a goal! Jimmy Berry-Murphy, the scorer of the goal that can win in Ireland!
I remember going up in '82, we were just going up to make up the numbers, and we turned them that day. We came back in '83, huge, roaring hot favourites, and very, very lucky to beat them. So, on the day, anything can happen.
'83 probably is one we look back on with ones that we felt we maybe could have won. Richie Poore got a goal just after half time.
And it goes to Ger Fennelly, into Harry Ryan. Ryan trying to get through. And a shot. And a goal! A goal by Richie Poore.
Just lucky enough to get to it just before Ger Cunningham came off the line. And as it turned out, it was a huge goal on the day because there was a very, very strong wind and we had played with it.
And Kilkenny are the champions.
And looking back at the first All-Ireland final I was involved in was in 1999, in which we won, and we went in that day against Kilkenny, I suppose rank outsiders, and we produced a big performance and probably a shock in the day, and we won 13 points to 12, and a guy from my own club, Mark Landers, was captain that day as well, which made it extra special.
Welcome back to Leeside, Lee McCarthy, we've missed you a lot!
I suppose 2003, after the strike, we were going into it again as underdogs, but it was a game we could have won. Kilkenny had won the All-Ireland previously, and we were kind of hopeful that we could pull a fast one over again that day.
Kilkenny with the title! The champions have retained the McCarthy Cup!
They stopped us in 2004 and then we stopped them in 2006, so they've done 4 in a row, we've done 4 in a row, and this is the ultimate test. This is the All-Ireland really as far as they're concerned, There
was a lot of mutual respect between Cork and Kilkenny at the time, and I suppose the last 10 years things have maybe changed a little bit that way. 1 or 2 comments here and there that maybe shouldn't have been said.
I think this game next Sunday could be a real physical battle, and to the team that had wanted the most, it'll come out, but I hope Hurling will be the winner on the day.
We're not being given a chance by the bookies, we're outsiders. You're playing against potentially one of the greatest teams that has ever played and that haven't lost a match for 5 years.
Any Kilkenny person that will take this Cork team for granted next Sunday, I think, could be making a huge mistake. They don't fear Kilkenny, even though they know this is a very, very good Kilkenny team, but they have no fear of them.
Kilkenny stopped us in 2006, going for 3 in a row. I'm sure Cork people would get great pleasure if Cork could stop Kilkenny getting the 5 in a row.
For the first 10 or 15 minutes, Brian Gavin will want eyes in the back of his head when he's refereeing. But when the dust settles, Marty, I think Kilkenny will have the greater firepower and the stronger bench to win the day.
OK, we're going to take a short break here on the programme. Back with more in our build-up to this All-Ireland hurling semi-final straight after that. Back here on the Sunday game, we're looking forward to the first of this year's All-Ireland hurling semi-finals. It is, of course, Kilkenny against Cork. And at this stage now, we're going to join Marty Morrissey because he is down by the side of the pitch, and he is joined by the Dublin manager, Anthony Daly, and also the Galway manager, John McIntyre.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well, I can vouch for the fact that down on the pitch it's very, very warm here, and it's going to be a test for the fitness of both Cork and Kilkenny. Temperatures are about 19, 20 degrees here in Croke Park. Well, John McIntyre and Anthony Daly joins us. John, if I can ask you first about the power and the strength, having been up close to Kilkenny with this Galway team of yours that you're building, how strong and powerful are they?
Well, it's no secret. They've you know, it's been one of their big assets over the last 6 or 7 years. It's very difficult to counteract, and to back it up then they're incredibly focused and composed, and their technique is outstanding as well. They don't do panic. They have it every way. They haven't been All-Ireland champions for the past 4 years and unbeaten for that length of time unless they're really special. And this Kilkenny team has been a cut above every other opposition out there since 2005, and it's hard to see them being stopped this year as well.
Anthony Daly, the fact that Cian McCarthy is in and Shane Murphy is in, Shane O'Neill and Michael Cusson out, what does that say about Cork? We know about Shane O'Neill being injured, but about Michael Cusson, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Marty, there's been a lot of debate all year about the Twin Towers and all the rest, and that they couldn't play together and all that. But like, I thought they were definitely going to go for that today, maybe to counter JJ Delaney fetching puck-outs, and I thought that's the way. I'd say the loss of Shane O'Neill at cornerback is more significant. Like, he's a very, very good player, and you know, Shane Murphy's a good cornerback, to be fair to him, but Shane O'Neill would be a loss off any inter-county team. He's very solid, well able for this level, and 2 late changes for Cork. It's very un-Cork-like, really. You know, they're normally very self-assured in their approach, and you'll worry a little bit about it.
Well, John McIntyre, one last very brief question because we are running out of time. How do you stop this Kilkenny machine? What would you do?
Well, our tactical approach in the Leinster final was to try and tease out their 2 wing backs. It didn't really work, to be honest. The Kilkenny backline is very hard to break down, and if you have a shortage of bodies up there, it makes it even more difficult. Cork are going to have to produce the performance of their lives. Their half-back line, Ben O'Connor, they're going to have to roll back the clock, and even still, it's likely they're going to come up short.
Okay, well, Anthony Daly and John McIntyre, I have it right. Thank you very much, John, after all these years. From both of us down, from all 3 of us down the sideline, we go back up to the commentary position and get all the details of the Cork and Kilkenny teams for this All-Ireland semi-final, and join Ger Canning.
Thanks very much indeed, Marty. You know, when these 2 teams last met in the championship, which was exactly 2 years ago, the 2 counties were on 30 All-Ireland wins. Right now it's Kilkenny 32, Cork 30, in which time PJ Ryan has firmly established himself as Kilkenny's #1 goalkeeper, playing behind a full back line in which Jackie Tyrrell has been playing some of the best hurling of a fine career at left corner back. The Marble Magicians at half-back have achieved legendary status, Walsh, Hogan and Delaney. There's a change at midfield where former captain James Cha Fitzpatrick replaces Michael Rice, who's out with a hand injury. Henry Shefflin has been given the number 11 jersey, but he could be easily switched to maximise Kilkenny's advantage. And then up front there's good news for Aidan Fogarty, his first championship start since last year's All-Ireland final. Michael Dagnan.
Yeah, you're just having a look at Michael Fennelly here today. Michael Rice is the maybe more high-profile man, but to me, Michael Fennelly had a huge game against Galway. He had an incredible 23 possessions in that game, and with Michael Rice out today, Chad plays more of a sitting role in front of the half-back line, so his athleticism is going to be very important today.
Yeah, he's playing brilliantly. Well, not to be outdone, Cork have their legends as well, none more so than goalkeeper Donal Og Cusack. In front of him, playing at right cornerback today, as you've heard, Shane Murphy replaces Shane O'Neill, who's out with a groin injury. Cork's battle-hardened half-back line remains intact, with Ronan Curran flanked by John Gardner and Sean O'Halpine. Same again in midfield, where Tom Kenny is starting his 40th championship match. Skipper Kieran Murphy of SARS has been chosen to start on the 40, with late replacement Cian McCarthy of SARS on his right. And a recall to duty in the inside line for 22-year-old Patrick Horgan. He was omitted for the quarter-final match, which of course was against Antrim. Michael.
Yeah, just having a look at Niall McCarthy today, I think he's having a very good year at left half forward. The only thing, I suppose, he's picking up a lot of ball way down the field, but he'll have to be close to Tommy Walsh. Both of them very combative figures. I'm expecting a huge battle between the 2 of them. And what's the odds on a couple of early yellow cards for Tommy Walsh and Niall McCarthy? But it's really the battle I'm looking forward to more than any other today.
Michael, thanks very much indeed. Kilkenny have beaten Cork in their last 2 championship meetings, but they're odds on to win again. But will it go according to plan? It's coming up shortly here on the Sunday Game Live. Michael.
Okay, we'll be returning to Ger again in just a moment, but before that we get to the action. Let's get a final word from the panel here and talk about some of the players. By the way, Michael Duggan predicting yellow cards as well as results and everything else in this game, so hopefully there aren't too many of them. Let's look at the Kilkenny defence now. Earlier on, Sir was talking about their 2 wings back, but let's talk about the centre back, Brian Hogan.
Yeah, well, you see, centre back is such an important position, and Brian Hogan, there's all kinds of rumours circulating about Brian over the last few days, that he has got an injury, that he's wearing a plaster on his hand, that he has a damaged finger. You can see that on his left hand. There is a glove of some kind on his left hand. Now, lucky enough, that's not his catching hand. So, but like, he's even more important now, Michael, because of the fact that John Tennyson is injured.